Hey guys, this is Pico here, and this is part 3 of my Assassin's Creed Badly Designed Full Sync Missions video series. So today we're continuing with Assassin's Creed 3 because it's like I said in the last video, this is easily the one game with the most footage I have. So we're doing sequence 10 memory 1, which is alternate methods. So this one has 2 full sync objectives, which is the first one is to use 2 guards as human shields, and then the second one is to tackle the target from above. So the first one isn't as bad, but we'll get to that when we get to that after I finish following Haytham through this section that I just sped up. Because this is just following him to the one meeting point, and so it doesn't apply to the full sync, so I just decided to speed it up. So then once we start combat with these guards, then we will have to use 2 guards as human shields, which isn't really that hard. But the second part of tackling the target from above is pretty hard. I've had trouble with it before, and it's kind of dumb. So basically when those yellow triangles show up, you just press X next to an enemy, and you'll grab them and just use them as a human shield. Also let Grenadier just hit the captain down with his axe, which happens a lot if they're really close to each other, and somehow he didn't die from it. But there's the second human shield, so we completed that full sync objective, so now we just have to kill the rest of these enemies. It isn't really that hard, and I just combo kill all of these enemies. And if you're really skilled at this game like I am, I don't mean to brag, but like, if you're really skilled at this game, you can just combo kill forever, as long as the enemies are close to each other, because like you saw there, this game has a problem of when you're trying to combo kill enemies, they just walk too far away from you to be able to actually continue the combo kill. Which thankfully they fixed in AC4, so they don't just like walk hundreds of feet away from you to make you like not able to continue the combo chain. So basically now we're just trying to chase this one guard, and we have to tackle him from above to be able to do this full sync objective. So normally, I think the game is like, it means for you to follow him through that, like, between those houses for like that backyard. But I know that he's gonna come around this way, so I just meet him before he gets there and just tackle him from off the ramp, or like the beam after the ramp. So that's basically it for this mission, but I just decided to include the rest of it where you just push him, because I like trying to push him as much as possible, because this is the only part in the game where you actually get to like push an enemy like this, and I'm just like pushing him as much as I possibly can before I get to the end of the mission, because I just like I feel powerful. I just like pushing him around, and it uses the same pushing animations that NPCs would do in the SEO games, so that's a kind of a carryover. I tried to push him one more time and I failed. But that's it for that mission. So that one wasn't that hard, but I've had a lot of trouble with it before, especially when I first played the game, and I didn't know like how to do it. And they get rid of the targeting system that the SEO games on AC1 had, so it's kind of hard to know which character you're gonna tackle. But for this mission is sequence 11 memory 1 for the Battle of the Chesapeake. And this is the first naval mission that we have. I think the only other naval missions we have are also in this video, so this is just going to be like a naval video for most of it. But for this one, it's another one full sync objective that's badly worded, and it says you have to destroy 3 ships using only 1 broadside. And when I first played this game, I thought that meant you only have to use one side of your ship the whole time until you get it, but it actually means you have to destroy 3 ships using 1 singular attack. So, like, I'm trying to like line it up right now to try to get a good angle where I can kill 3 ships in 1 shot, because it doesn't, like, the wording on it is so bad and it's hard to understand. But I ended up killing that ship, but then if I didn't shoot before, I think I probably would have had it there, but I couldn't shoot because I was too busy reloading. And the reload speed on the ship is just bad. It takes forever to reload. And even when you fully upgrade the ship like I have here, like, I don't think you can increase the reload speed on your ship weapons, which is kind of dumb. I think they improved the reload speed for your cannons and stuff on AC4, But they also improved everything about them over in C4, so it's not really much of a new... That's not really new information. But basically I just failed because I couldn't... I didn't really have too many ships left to do it on, and I didn't really have like a good angle where I could kill all three ships in one hit. And what's also kind of annoying is that you have two allies with you and they can also kill the ships. So if they end up killing too many ships and you don't have enough, you can't do the full thing. And there's actually a second wave of enemy ships that come after this one, so I think you can also... If you don't do it on this first wave, you can do it on the second wave. But I always just try to do it on this first wave just because it's easier and I can get it out of the way and I don't have to worry about it anymore after I do it. And there I just barely missed that ship that was closest to me, so I just decided to restart because I didn't get it, and I don't think I would have had a good angle for a second chance. It's just all about angling and timing. Because in this game you can't... The way the cannons work is that the longer you hold it down, the more it charges. And the white glow on the water that you see, the more you charge it, the more it powers up your attacks, so your attacks get stronger, but it also makes it have like a more thin range. Like it gets smaller range, but it gets longer, but it gets smaller from the sides, so you don't have as wide of a shot, if that makes any sense. But there I actually did the full thing. But since this is AC3 and we have multiple full things per mission, we actually have to worry about two other ones. And the last one isn't that hard, but the second one is to destroy 2 frigates by firing on their powder stores, which we'll also see again in a later mission in this video, which makes it way worse than this mission. But this mission is... that full stake objective is still done. You have to specifically get the frigates to fire, to have their powder store weak point show up, which can be hard because it always seems to be random whether it shows up or not. Especially when you have a fully powered up ship like I have, so you're like way too overpowered to get it to show up. Way too overpowered to get it to show up consistently. But we just have to kill this last frigate for the next section to actually show up. And I'm just speeding up the parts where I'm not... like, the parts between each of the full sync objectives, like before and after I do it, just so it's less boring and tedious. Because this mission took me a while to do, just because it's a long mission. Like, I didn't have to restart too many times like I did on the sequence-sided mission in the last video, but this mission is just long in general, so if I have to restart, it's just annoying. So I didn't want to bog down the video by a long length of one mission. So, I think the full sync has shown up by now, so I think we just have to do one... Well, I do it on this frigate, which is riding my butt for some reason. And then after we kill these ships right here, then there's going to be 3 more frigates that show up. So he gets too far away from me to get the shot off. Like, well, I was talking about earlier how the cannons get more powerful the more you charge it up. So when I try to get the powder stores to show up, I just press the button really quickly to do like the weakest shot possible. And what I did there was, like, I tried to ram him, but what I did was I was at full sail, and then I quickly lowered to half sail, and I completely stopped. But I still had momentum going, so I used that slower momentum to do a slower, weaker ram. So then it makes the powder store show up. That's kind of the same strategy I'll use in a later mission, but it's still really inconsistent. I don't know what happened there. Like, I don't know why that frigate on the right already had the powder store, like, available. I don't know if that just automatically happens all the time every time you play this mission, or if it just if I just got lucky and it was just there automatically for no reason and me not doing anything to it. But for some reason it showed up and it just let me shoot it, so I just got lucky on this full sync objective. And here I'm just speeding up the last part of destroying these two frigates. And I'm just using heat shot just so I can kill them really quickly. Or just random. But earlier we lost one of our ally ships, but now we're gonna lose the second one. So we're gonna go into those, I don't know if it's a storm or if it's just like smoke from all the ships being destroyed or whatever it is, or fire, I don't know. But we're going into the smoke. And we have to board a man of war ship, which we do by ramming it because it destroys all of our cannons. So we can't shoot it. And as far as I know, this is like the only mission in the game where a man of war ship shows up. So that's pretty interesting. But we just lost our second ally ship. So now we just have to go into the green circle and locate the man of war ship and then board it. And then once we board it, that will be the third full sync objective for this mission, which will be to counter-kill 5 enemies, which is like the easiest thing in the world because counter-kill is so broken in these early Assassin's Creed games that you can just basically just spam counter-kill and just kill everyone around you. And if you're just playing this game normally, like if you're not even going for the full sync, I don't see why you wouldn't get it because it's just so easy to do and just mindless. They put this full sync objective for counter kill only 5 enemies in the same mission where you have to kill 2 frigates by firing on their powder stores. It's just like such a contrast of like hard and easy full sync objectives, and it makes no sense and it's kind of dumb.
He's not really planning to board them, is he?
But I had a lot of trouble with this mission when I first played this game, and a few other times I played it, just because it's just the firing on my powder store full sync objective is just dumb. Also, you saw there for like a few frames where like the ship completely disappeared and I skipped the cutscene, so it was just floating in there for a second. But anyway, I just counter-killed 5 enemies. And somehow it still gave it to me even though when I was doing the animation I got shot, and it shot me out of the counter-kill animation. And there I did a contextual kill accidentally, but if you do the contextual kill, even if you do a counter, it doesn't count for it. Also, the thing that's happening around me is that there's a thing in this game where you can get an item that stops. It has like a certain percentage chance of stopping bullets and preventing you from getting shot. So that's the weird aura thing that sometimes shows up around me. Because I've 100% of this game and I already have everything. So I have that little item thing. And once you have it, you can't take it off. Also, fun fact about that little item is that if you get it before you do the last modern day mission where you go to Abstergo, it actually can activate in the modern day, which is kind of dumb and makes no sense. But anyway, this is the actual mission where you get the item from, so I guess it was kind of good that I was talking about that item. But what's done for this mission is that you have to...
But I am intrigued to find out.
Well, the first one isn't hard, but you have to solve the riddle puzzle in like 5 minutes, which is really not that hard. But the other one, the other full sync objectives are that you have to limit your health loss by 30%, and if you lose 30% or more of your health, then you lose the full sync. And if the other one is to not use ranged weapons against the wolves, which is really dumb. Because the wolves, once you solve the riddle, there's 3 wolves that showed up, and you have to kill all of them.
That is it.
But the problem is that like when they attack you, there's like a quick time event that shows up. And you have to press the button extremely quickly because for some reason the wolves on this mission, like the quick time event for deflecting them or whatever, it's like extremely strict, like way more strict, and it's faster than like normal wolves or quick time events in the Frontier.
That is it.
So I don't know why I increased the speed for it. So you'll see once I get to that part, what I always try to do is I try to air assassinate them. Because I can't use ranged weapons, because then I'll lose the other full sync. So I try to air assassinate them, but the problem with that is that it's still RNG when you air assassinate them. Because you basically have to get lucky that they get stuck on something. Because they're always like running and circling around you. And the game like knows that you try to air assassinate on them, because when they're next to you and you air assassinate, they just immediately run away and you miss. So like they try to stop you from doing that, which is really dumb. And then here I go the wrong way for some reason. Forget that it's up here on the branch.
Got it.
But basically this puzzle isn't really that hard. You just have to like match the glowing objects to the shapes on the ground that you see in Ecovision. And they actually bring this back in AC4 for the Mine Stairway collectibles. But those also aren't really that hard either. And here I just kind of get like stuck in between the trees because I didn't know what I was looking for, because it's been a while since I played this.
There.
And for some reason I fell off the rock, but it still gave the thing to me and it still let me do Ecovision.
Got it.
Yeah, so then that's the puzzle done. And it forms an eagle symbol.
I know where it is.
And we just have to go to the area, interact with it, and then that's when the wolves spawn. And then this is the part that's kinda dumb. So I try to climb in the trees to like air assassinate them. And then it doesn't let you air assassinate if you're on like one of these swing animation things. Even though it's like right under me, it doesn't let me do it. So then I took a jump on the rock and do it. So like I pressed X there, like I pressed circle and then X extremely quickly and it still didn't give it to me because it's just so strict. But then somehow I got it there because I was anticipating it, I guess. And then this wolf got stuck in a tree, but I still tried to air assassinate it. So like you'll see, I tried to air assassinate it, and then it just runs away because it knows, the game knows that I'm trying to cheat it with an air assassination. So then it just runs away again. So I try to do it again because I hope that it will get stuck on something when it runs away. And then it does, so it just turns around for no reason. And then this other one just comes out of nowhere and gets like stuck in the bush for some reason. I kind of got lucky when I was doing this, but I've had other times where like I got attacked by a wolf and I failed the full sync objective because it killed me so quickly because the full sync objective is so strict, and I failed it because of how strict it is. And then I got killed by the wolf because it depleted my health really quickly. So then basically for the rest of this you just have to parkour for this like little course in the caves. It's really not that hard. That's basically it for the full syncs for this mission, because once you go through here you get the item that I was talking about, and then you're done with this mission. You don't have to worry about any more full syncs. And then you have to leave the cave because it starts collapsing. And then I just sped up this part because I tried to skip this cutscene, but for some reason it didn't let me skip it. So I don't know why that happened, but I just sped it up because I didn't want to watch the cutscene, but it didn't let me skip it, so I just sped. But that's the item that you get, that deflects bullets. And that's how you full sync that mission. And to get that mission you have to collect all the peg leg trinket collectibles and then do the 4 missions that they unlock, and then you unlock that one last mission. And then this is a naval contract called Raiding the Prospector, and for this mission you just have to kill these 8 ships, and then you have to go to a certain location, and then once you get to that location, you have to kill another ships within a minute and 30 seconds, which the time for that is really strict, because I had one time when I was doing this mission and I literally finished it with 1 second left. But when I was recording this, I literally finished it with 0 seconds left, which I don't even know how. Because if it was 0 seconds left, it should have made me fail it, but somehow it didn't. But like, why is it so strict though? It should have been at least like 2 minutes, or like 2 minutes 30 seconds or something. Why 1 minute and 30 seconds? Like, even if you use heat shot and grape shot and like destroy everything really quickly, it's just so strict and dumb. So you just have to go over this ambush point. And then once you go there, the other ships show up. And then the time starts. And I wish the timer started like once you initiated combat, but it actually starts as soon as you regain control. So you basically waste a few seconds. You get a few seconds wasted just by like getting closer to the ship so you can actually shoot them. So it's more like you have a minute and like 25 seconds instead of a minute and 30 seconds. Like they just waste time for you for some reason. It's dumb. So just use grape shot and heat shot. And I was trying to charge it up as much as possible, just to have the most powerful attacks even though they're not wide. And the smaller ships, if they're schooners, I think it is, they take 2 shots with the swivel guns. If they're even smaller and they're like gunboats, they actually take only 1 with the swivel gun. But I just used the grape shot on all of them. I already shot that one once with the swivel gun, so I know I had to shoot it again. So then I have the smaller one left and the big frigate left. And I have like less than 20 seconds. And that somehow missed. Even though the reticle was on the ship, it didn't count because it wasn't red. Like, that's another thing they improved in AC4 with the swivel guns. They have an actual like targeting system on the ships that they automatically lock onto. You don't have to wait for the reticle to turn red. But you saw how strict that was, and you saw that I literally finished the mission with 0 seconds left, and it still gave it to me. So I don't know what was up with that. But then here we have another mission that I hate. This is the other one where you have to kill frigates by firing on the powder stores. This is the Giant and the Storm, and you have to kill frigates by firing on the powder stores. But what's dumb is that they only give you 3 frigates to shoot, so you only have like 3 chances to do it. And you literally have to do it on every single ship. But basically you just have to kill these smaller 5 ships, and then the 3 frigates show up, and then you have to kill those ones. And this is another mission like the ones in Brotherhood of Relations in my previous videos where I just got so mad at while doing that I just didn't even bother finishing it because it's just so badly designed, and I hate it. I hate doing it every time I play this game. But basically what I try to do is like what I did in the Battle of Chesapeake Bay mission, where I just try to chain shot them. I chain shot them, and then I make them unable to move. And then what I do is I go full sail on the front, and then I slow down and use my momentum from full sail to ram them at like a slower speed, and then hopefully the powder store shows up. And if it doesn't, then that's bad because it's just like all random whether it does or not. And if it doesn't show up, then you're just screwed. If you shoot them one more time, then they're just gonna die. You probably could do this mission with a not fully updated ship, but I always try to do it because it's like one of the last. Like it's always one of the last naval contracts that you unlock. because you have to do all the other ones to unlock it. But by that point I always have my ship fully upgraded just so I can do the other ones quickly. So I never get to this one with not a fully upgraded ship. So if anyone knows how to do this without a less fully upgraded ship, then you can tell me in the comments or whatever. But I've never even attempted this mission with a less than fully upgraded ship. But I always try to just, you can see them trying to get into position and like slowly ram them. But it's also kind of hard to see where you're going because you can't zoom out the camera more than this. And the waves and everything are just making everything bounce up and down. And there's also these rogue waves that you have to take cover from. It's just bad, and it just feels like failure because everything's so random and inconsistent. And I try to shoot them with a cannon a little bit just to weaken them. But I really don't recommend doing that because like, I've had more luck with this mission without shooting them with the cannons. Like I only ever use the cannons for chain shots so I can make them immobile and not able to move. That's just dumb, because everything's so inconsistent. It's like the guards in the Season 7 mission in the last league, they're just so inconsistent and like, you can never tell what they're gonna do. Like, I did my exact same strategy where I tried to like use my momentum to ram it, and then it just exploded for no reason and died. And there's no other frigates after those 3, so I have to do it on those 3 ships. It's just dumb, and it just sets you up for failure. And if you restart checkpoint, you have to kill all of these 5 ships again. So that also gets annoying. Like the checkpoint should be after you destroy those 5 ships, just so this mission can be less tedious and annoying. But for some reason it makes you destroy all those 5 ships again, and I hate it. It just makes it dumb and bad and annoying and tedious and dumb. And then there's the rogue waves too. I don't know if the rogue waves can do damage to the frigates, but if they can, that's probably why they're so inconsistent, because you can never tell when a rogue wave is gonna spawn. And I missed the chain shot, so they don't stop. I don't know if the chain shot does damage either, but it does damage in AC4, so if it does damage in AC4, it probably doesn't do damage in this game, because they changed so much of the systems. But the enemy ships in this game also don't have health bars, so you can't really see what damage they're doing anyway. So if it does do damage, I can't tell. Because they got rid of all the health bars in this game, even for like normal enemies on land. Yeah, I think I still have 1 ship left that I didn't get. Also, they can still shoot you even when they're stuck like this. Even when you destroy the sails of the chain shot, they can still shoot you from the sides, and I think also even from the back too, if I'm not wrong, but I might be wrong. But then like there I go too slow, like I try to slow down just enough so I can have a weak enough ram to have a powder store shot, but then I end up slowing down way too much. And it's hard to tell what speed I'm at, because I can never tell how close I am, because the camera is so bad. Like when the camera's directly behind you, the ship literally takes up like half your screen, or probably even more than half. So you can never tell how close you are to the ships. So you can never tell like when you need to slow down or speed up or whatever. It's just dumb. Like, this is the most consistent strategy I have, and it's the one I try to do every single time I do this mission. But even that is still really inconsistent. Like, this is about as inconsistent as the enemies in Odyssey, where, like, you try to do an assassination on them, and the game says that you won't kill them, because the enemies are damage sponges and I never die from anything. But then you end up killing him anyway, and then you try to do an assassination on a same looking type of guard, and it doesn't kill him. And it makes no sense, and it's inconsistent and broken. But I should just get back to AC3, but if you guys want to see videos on Odyssey, I could probably try to make some, try to explain why that game is bad, because I talk about it so much, but I'm talking about it in videos that aren't about Odyssey. But basically this mission is just dumb, and I hate it. It's dumb because it's required for full sync if you're trying 100% sync this game. So if you're trying to do that, then just good luck with this mission. That's basically all I can say. This mission, it just requires you to do the dumbest things. Like, I literally never use chain shot outside of this mission, any missions in the story where they require you to use it. Like, who would even think that chain shot the enemy ships? Like, literally no one. And who even designed this mission anyway? Who thought this was a good idea? They should have at least given you more ships. Instead of just giving you 3 ships and then saying, hey, do it on all 3 of them or you fail. Makes no sense. And then they're also too far away, they get hit by the chain shot. I don't know if the swivel gun can do damage to them, and if it does, then it probably does like so little that it doesn't even matter. I don't know if you can destroy a frigate in this game just by shooting with the swivel gun. I've never tried that, but I kind of don't want to, because if they do damage, they probably do so little that it would probably take forever to do it. You also have to make sure that you're always like ramming them from the front, because the power destroyers are only ever in the front of the ships. So if you try to like hit them from the side with the back, they don't do it. I also didn't even know that rogue wave was coming because I was too busy paying attention to the ship and shooting it. It literally takes me as long as this just to do this mission when I'm actually like completing it. Like earlier I said that I didn't even finish it for this video, but if I'm actually like trying to finish it, and it literally takes me as long as this. And like I said in the Secret 7 mission in the last video, I've never done that mission on my first try, and I don't think I've ever done this mission on my first try. Just because it's so bad and inconsistent and dumb. Like whoever made this mission, I don't even know. Like, why do they have these bad ideas for game design? Like, I try to ram them again, but I can never tell how far away or close I am. And then it ends up hitting them and it doesn't do anything. And they can still shoot me. And I try shooting them and I miss most of the shots. And they still shoot me because I can still shoot from the front for some reason. Like, I'm just trying to shoot it to weaken it. And then I try to leave and like come back and do another ram from the front again. And I think I just end up killing it anyway. I don't know why some of the rogue waves like are orange and some of the ones are red. What's even the difference between the red and orange rogue waves on the map? I don't even know if there is a difference. There probably is if there's 2 different types of rogue waves. There's probably so small of a difference that I've never noticed it. Which is probably why I'm questioning it now. Like, I'm just trying to shoot it from the front again, just try to weaken it more. I don't know if I'm like shooting it too high or too low or anything. because the waves keep bouncing up and down, and I keep missing my shots. Like, if this was AC4 and you could be aiming shots up and down manually, it would be so much easier. If you saw how long it took me to get one of those, and then I would just fail on the other ones, just because it's so bad. You also don't have any other weapons in this game other than solo gun and cannons. Like, you have heat shot and grape shot and cannon shot and chain shot, but you don't have like mortars, or you don't have mortars or fire barrels or like heavy shot or like anything in AC4. You only have like two weapons, and like one of them has like 4 different variants. It's just so restrictive. And that time I was like so slow. I slowed down way too early because I couldn't see how close I was to it. So I didn't know that I was close to it. It flew out away to slow down. But then I just get lucky and get it to show up. So then I get 2, and I try to go for the third one, and then I think I fail it, and then I just get so mad and like, you know, I wasted all this time. I might as well not even finish it. So I got 2 of them, and I got so close, and then I just failed, and I was like, I'm done. This mission's so dumb and bad. Like, oh my god. This is why I hate the naval in this game, and why I hate that they keep bringing back the ship combat in like every single game nowadays, except for Unity and Syndicate. Like, those are literally the only games since like AC3 that don't have ship combat in them. Even Origins has it, but like, or at least in Origins they're only like restricted to certain like missions, and it's not like an open world thing. So like I got 2 and I just left. But this is the first mission in the first episode of the Tyranny of King Washington DLC.
What have you done?
So I included a Da Vinci Disappearance DLC mission in the Brotherhood video, or at least in like the video that had Brotherhood in it. So like, you know what, I'll just show DLC for this game. So this is only this is memory 1 of episode 1 of the Tyranny of King Washington DLC, which is called Awaken. Well, the mission's called Awaken, but episode 1 of the DLC is called The Infinite. So then here we just have to kill these enemies, and we have to go to a church that has civilians inside of it that's being burned to the ground.
Are you talking about
And then once we
Commander
get to that
Washington?
church, we have to kill 5 blue
Why did
coats
that woman call him
around the
king?
church without getting detected, which is a wholesome commission for that.
We must protect as many as we can.
Which somehow I end up failing a lot, which should be it should be a really easy thing, but somehow I ended up failing a few times, which I don't understand. So for this guy, there's a haystack over there that I try to go for, but I have to race kind of deal, or however you say her name, to it, because she also runs for it, and if you wait for her to go to it first, she actually kills that one guy, so then you have one less guy to kill, but I always try to get him just so I can kill him easily. So now I get this guy, and then I have to whistle to lure this guy over here. But then when I kill him, I get seen by another guard, so I have to reset. So like what happened in the first AC3 mission and the last video, if you get seen in a bush, you can't go back down into the bush once you get seen, like in AC4. So that's basically what happened there. So basically just race to this first haystack, and then kill the guy from the haystack, and then kill the guy in the bush. I don't know why it's coming up with thief challenges either, because I 100%ed this game, and I already did all the thief challenges and all the challenges for all the guilds. And there's also not even guild challenges in the DLC, so I don't know why they're showing up here. But basically, this guy just walks back and forth. So then I just wait for him to get close to the bush and kill him from the bush. So then I run up and get this guy. So this was the 4th one. So I have one more to do. And I run around this side. And I try to get this guy, but for some reason he's like kneeling on the ground, but he's stuck kneeling on the ground. So even though I keep whistling, he doesn't hear it for some reason. He doesn't come checking it out. So I try to go over here that's a little bit closer. He doesn't do it. And then it doesn't let me kill him, even though I'm pressing square to like attack him. And then I get seen by someone else. And I get stuck on a bench or a fence because the parkour is bad and get magnetized to everything. So then I get seen, so I have to restart checkpoint again.
Don't let them see you.
So now I have to kill all these guards again. I don't know what was up with that one guy that was just kneeling and like not getting up, and why it wouldn't let me kill him. That was kind of dumb. So I kill this guy from the haystack, and I kill this guy from the bush. I just do the same strategy because it just works, at least until the last guy. So I just wait for this guy to get over here. And I kill him from this bush. And I whistle this guy over, I don't know why. Even though in the last attempt I ran up and just killed him from behind, I whistled over the bush. I wish I would lead him over the bush. But I guess it doesn't matter because I still got him. And then I ended up getting seen by that guy that was kneeling before, and I actually made him get up. So then I run back to the bush. But he doesn't walk far enough because he saw me from over there, so he doesn't think to look in the bush. So then I have to whistle from the bush to lead him over here. But at least getting seen by him made him come out of his kneeling pose, so I can at least get him. So then that's that full sync done. So now we just have to kill the rest of the enemies. And I always climb up on the church and then do an air assassination on the guys. You could also kill that guy from the haystack if you do a little bit fake into it, but I just forgot he was there, so I didn't. Then I just combo kill all of these guys, and then I open the church doors, free everyone.
Free them. This is all because of
Just mash the button. And then the next part is what makes this mission dumb, because you have to shoot people from a cannon, or with a cannon, but what's dumb is that you can't let any of the guards that are running the convoy escape. So you have to kill every single enemy that's running across the path, but what's dumb is that the cannon reload time takes so long to do, so by the time you shoot a cannonball, you have to... You basically have to shoot again immediately because by the time you reload, the other enemies are already in the same position that you already shot, so you just have to basically just keep repeatedly shooting in the same spot over and over again. But there's also other guards that are shooting you, so you can easily die. And I don't know what happened there. I tried to ledge assassinate the guy I was under, and then prioritized the guy that was under me and air assassinated him. So I don't know what was up with that. I didn't even know he was down there. And I just bodyguard this guy and then kill all the rest of these enemies. I don't know if you can have the item that protects against bullet shots in the DLC, because technically the DLC takes place in an alternate universe. So I guess alternate universe Connor doesn't have that item.
The King's army is advancing.
But if you could have it in the DLC, I guess it would make it easier. But basically, you just have to kill all these enemies that are on this one path. And then you have these guys that show up that are secondary targets that can shoot you from like such a long range, even though I don't think musket shots realistically have that much range, even in real life. Especially not in-game, in other parts of the game. But I don't think musket shots should have that much range. And they also shoot you extremely quickly. And something you can do where you can aim a cannon in like the middle of the road, like between the two secondary target locations, and you can kill the main targets, like right here, you can kill the main targets and the top secondary targets in one shot, which is a cool thing you can do. The secondary targets at the bottom are too low to have it work against them. You can just kill the top ones. And then the horse guys are dumb because they're way faster. And I try to kill the lower guys because they're about to kill me. And technically, since you're in combat, your health doesn't refill, and this game doesn't have medicine like the SA games, so you can't just automatically refill your health. So now I have more horse people, and then more secondary targets at the bottom. So now I try to prioritize the secondary targets so I don't get killed after I kill these guys. Because you can see how low I am in health. And they shoot, like, you can see how much damage they do and how quickly they do it. So I try to shoot these guys and the top guys. And I get them both. And then I have more horse people that I shoot. And I get killed. It's just,
The King's army is
just
advancing.
dumb.
Use this gun to stop it.
So you basically have to kill all the enemies just to make sure they don't reach the end. Like, this is basically just tower defense. So if you remember the tower defense minigame from Revelations, it's basically just that. Like, only you are the one that are killing the enemies, and you don't have other assassins or other people that are helping you. And you don't have like any blockades or anything that you can place down. So it's basically tower defense but harder. Just tower defense but harder and more dumb. So then I shoot this guy, or this group. And then you can basically just see how fast they come, so I just have to shoot, like, basically in the same spot. And I try to wait for the secondary targets to come up, so I can try to get them with the main targets, but then they take too long, so I just have to shoot. And one of those secondary targets doesn't die from that. For some reason, he just runs away, so I guess he's technically dies. But normally they don't run away, and you don't kill all of them. If you don't kill all of them in one shot, then normally the rest of the ones stay and still shoot you. And I don't know what happened to that body. I didn't even see that when I was recording that, but that body just like got ragdolled and flung everywhere. So if you destroy that house, then the bottom secondary targets just go into the field. But I was trying to destroy the house just because once you destroy the house, they can never show up there again, and it's easier to aim at the field location than the house. You can see like how long it takes to reload and like how many I let pass past me, and I can't reach that far with the cannon vertical. So I basically have to shoot in the same spot, and I get all but one. I let one of them get past me, so then I have to restart after all of that.
The King's army is advancing. Use this gun to stop it.
It's just dumb. And you have to watch this small cutscene every single time again too, so that can get annoying. You basically have to prioritize the secondary targets at some point, because if you don't kill them, then you basically just die like what happened earlier. Because they kill you so quickly. Especially when there's two groups of the secondary targets. Because if there's one, they just kill you so quickly. They realistically should not be able to shoot that quickly or have as much range as they do. Like, you can see how quickly my health is going down. I literally went from full health to like losing a quarter of it within like a few seconds. It's just dumb. And then somehow one of that group survives, so then I have to kill him with the second group. Which is just dumb. I don't know how he survived, but somehow he did. So I'm gonna kill these horse people. Kill these secondary targets, and I have to go back to prioritizing the main targets because I don't have secondary targets. And I shoot these last guys. And then these last horse people. It should be nearing the end of it. I wish there was like a timer or like how long it told you you had left to go on this, so you can never like tell how long it is. But I think this is the last group that you have to do it on, or this like one of these last groups is going to be the last one. There it is. So then that's the second objective that you have to do. So then the third one is not as hard as that, and I've literally never failed it. But you have to prevent a blue cart runner from lighting a fuse in the last area.
Now I must make amends.
So basically you just have to run to this last area and kill these guards that come attacking you. And then run to the last area where there's just a giant burning field or like town or something. And then there's like fuses or bombs, I guess, that people can light, and you have to prevent all of the blue cart runners from lighting it. I actually don't know what happens if you let one of the blue cart runners light the fuse, because I've literally never failed this. It's just so easy, especially compared to that cannon section. Okay, so then we have one of the first blue cart runner. I got stuck in the tree.
Anyone trying to light the fuses.
And I don't know why it initiated like combat status there instead of letting you run. And I tried to shoot with the bow, but for some reason the bow didn't kill him. Like, I don't know why the bow's so weak. So I have to just kill him behind. So then we have to go to the second blue cart runner. So then, since I saw how weak the bow was, I just equipped my gun and just shoot them. There's eventually going to be a part where two of them show up at once, and then that's when I actually start shooting them, because I can shoot one and then just run to the other one and shoot him, or running assassinate him or whatever. And I just shoot this guy.
Stop him! He's almost there.
It's also kind of annoying because you can never really tell like where they're gonna spawn before they spawn, so you can never really like prepare for which direction they're coming from. So we'll have to go all the way back over here. They kind of seem to like switch like sides depending on which direction you come from, but it's still, you can still never tell like where they're coming from or which fuse they're going for. But now we're at the part where two of them show up at once. And for some reason it was taking a while for them to spawn, so I don't know why. Like normally they spawn a lot faster than that. So I don't know. Like they were taking so long to spawn that I literally started fighting the other enemies that I don't need to fight. Just because I didn't know why they were taking so long to spawn. It says fire is kind of glitching. I don't know what's about that. But there should be a, like, I think that was the last runner? Yeah, that was the last runner, so that was that for this mission. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the future videos where we'll finally be finishing AC3.